Greetings, friends. Welcome to Enigma Night Gaming. I am Liara, and I will be your guide in today's adventures. Today, we are playing Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcade, and we are on our second episode of what was the name of it? It's like the Walking Dead or something to that effect. And in any event, we are trying to defend a necromancer. Now, they're basically trying to say he's the only necromancer, which obviously isn't true because somebody is watching, had to be teaching him for him to learn necromancy. So, obviously, there has to be another suspect. But we are going to continue our investigation and see what we can do to try and find out who actually committed the crime, because it surely wasn't Wallace. Let's go to the Imperial Academy hallway. You spot Valentina again. She's speaking to someone in a blue-collar uniform. Could he be the custodian that she mentioned? Jan, where have you been? You still haven't fixed the plumbing in the kitchen sinks. Ugh, someone just died. Can't we take the day off for once? He's in his PJs. You're causing trouble for me and Valentina. Please be reasonable. Wait, why is Valentina suddenly speaking in the third person? Oh, hello. Valentina? Oh, my apologies. I can see why you're confused. I'm not Valentina. I'm her sister Valerie. So they're twins. Interesting. Are you trying to trick us or something? You look exactly the same. You remember reading about something like this before. You two are identical twins, aren't you? You're both genetically identical to each other? Yes, we are. Wait, this means that she was the one who discovered the body alongside Valentina. Since we have you here, do you mind if I ask you some questions about what happened? I'm terribly sorry, but I've already spent a lot of time looking for Jan here. I'm really behind on my work, but Jan was also nearby when we discovered the body. I'm sure he can answer your questions. Before you have a chance to object, Valerie quickly walks away. That's mighty suspicious. I'm sorry, but it is. Wait! Do you want me to go after her? I'm pretty sure I can catch up to her. No, we don't want to scare those two more than we already have. He's like just gonna yawn. Anyways, Valerie said that Jan was around when the murder happened. Maybe he saw something. Although, I'm kind of doubting. I guess it's not PJs, it's just a very odd-looking janitor uniform. Jan, was it? You mind if we ask you some questions about what happened? Ugh, really? Well, whatever. At least I have an excuse to take a break now. Alright. So, Jan, are you part of the staff here? Yep, I'm a janitor. I clean, and I do odd jobs here and there. And he's just gonna yawn and yawn and yawn. Well, apparently, that's all he has to say about that. How about the murder? Valerie mentioned you were close to Lecture Hall 2B before they found Bellwether. What were you doing when the twins discovered the body? I was cleaning the holes. Bellwether knocked over a vase, and there were shards and dirt everywhere. Wait, you saw the professor before the twins arrived? Yeah. Like I said, she broke the vase in this hallway. It was probably 20 to 30 minutes before the twins found the body. You might have been the last person to see her alive. Did you see where she went after breaking the vase? Yeah, I think she went into that room over there. Jan points to the lecture hall that Bellwether was found in. Did you see anyone else enter the lecture hall? I'm honestly not sure. I was more worried about cleaning the mess she made. Well, did you notice anything off about her? She was in a pretty bad mood. But honestly, that's pretty normal for her. She was walking real slow. I didn't notice her at first, and she basically shoved me out of her way. After that, she knocked over that vase. I didn't even say anything after that, but she still yelled at me to be quiet. Did you see where she went after that? Not really, but the only thing in that direction is Lecture Hall 2B. I can't imagine her going anywhere else. Alright, so Jan's statement has been added to our notes. 30 minutes before the Ionis twins found the body, Bellwether walked past Jan in the West Wing hallway. He was in her path, so she shoved him out of her way. After that, she knocked over a vase and shattered it. Even though Jan didn't say anything to her, she yelled at him to be quiet. After this interaction, she walked into Lecture Hall 2B. It kind of sounds like she was already under some kind of spells at the time, hearing things and stuff. Alright, what about Catherine Bellwether? What can you tell me about her? I've heard that she had a pretty bad relationship with the staff. She had a bad relationship with just about everyone. Students, the other teachers. I can't think of many people who actually did get along with her. I'm sure you had your own share of bad experiences with her. Yeah, she'd always yell at me when I was taking too long to get a job done. I hate to say it, but things are a lot more peaceful around here without her. That's blunt to say the least, but you can't exactly blame him for thinking that. Alright, how about the firing of the academy staff? Valentina mentioned something interesting. Did you tell her that Bellwether was going to fire the academy staff? Yeah, I remember that. What made you think she was going to do something like that? You know those arcane constructs in the library? Bellwether was the one that ordered them. Oh yeah, they're so cool. Well, a few weeks ago I overheard she was having a meeting with the headmaster. From what I heard, she was planning to order more constructs and entirely replace the staff. Oh. Well, I'm sure the headmaster rejected her proposal. I don't know. From the way she was talking, it sounded like he didn't have a say in the matter. I wonder if she was blackmailing him or something. I mean, I know she had some pull with the nobles, but surely this would be overreaching, maybe? The only thing the headmaster would have only the headmaster would have the authority to fire the staff. Why would she be that confident? Don't know. All I know is she hated having common folk in the schools, even among the staff. She was really miffed that he was hiring common folk from the community center. Alright, so we have Bellwether's plan added to our notes. Supposedly, Bellwether told the headmaster that she was planning to fire all of the academy staff and replace them with arcane constructs. The plan was overheard by Jan Hughes a few weeks ago. Alright, what can we give him? Let's ask him about the constructs. Ugh, I just really hope we don't lose our jobs to those constructs. Well, if there's any silver lining to Bellwether's death, it's that she can't carry out her plan. Dang, that's kind of heartless, man. While I do want to catch the real murderer, I don't have much pity for people who abuse positions of power. Well, I can't blame you. I'm sure many people feel the same way. Alright, what about the smell? Did he smell this in the classroom? Are you aware of the foul smell in Lecture Hall 2B? Yeah. Well, luckily, Arya isn't letting anyone into the lecture hall till the investigation's over. But I'll probably have to get to it eventually. Sigh. Alchemical messes are always a pain to clean up. I am not looking forward to that. I wonder if Arya can help me out like she used to. Wait, do you personally know Prosecutor Steelwind? She studied here a few years ago. She'd always help me out using her magic. I miss that. Interesting. Alright, we got the map. Will he say anything about the distance of the map? Alright, so no, he's not very helpful with that. Who discovered the body? Well, it was the twins. Are you friends with the Ionis sisters? I wouldn't say we're friends exactly, but we do work together a lot. There was a lot of give and take among coworkers. Us commoners gotta stick together after all. After a while, we even made a system to warn each other about where Bellwether was. Bellwether was kind of a menace here, wasn't she? Alright, well, I want to hear about that system. I don't know if that's important or not, but what about the lockdown? Can you tell me anything about the lockdown system? Okay, so nothing about the lockdown system. You might have something about her reputation. Man, I still can't believe someone off Bellwether. It's all a little unreal. I'm sure you have mixed feelings about what happened. Yeah, I feel like I should be happy. But honestly, I don't know what to feel. It's easier to not think about it. Okay. Let's see. Okay, what about the bloodstain under the body? He probably doesn't have anything to say about that because I don't think he saw that. Okay. He saw her alive. We asked him about the constructs, about the smell. What about the... How is working under Headmaster Redmond? It's great. I owe a lot to him for getting me this job. But I suppose these things never last. You must be talking about Bellwether's plan to fire the staff. Okay. Let's ask him about Wallace. Oh, he doesn't know Wallace? Okay. What about, does he know Eris? Nope. Okay. Doesn't know Eris. But you do know Arya. Have you met Prosecutor Steelman? Not recently, but she used to go to school here a few years ago. What was she like back then? Oh, she was great. She'd always reprimand Bellwether when she'd pick on the students and staff. She was probably the only person in this school that would stand up to her. The students elected her as the student body president, and she took the job pretty seriously. Wow, I never expected that. There were things were a lot better when she was here. Okay, so we got some new intel on her, so I can tell the difference between the sisters. Alright. Let's see. What about the headmaster? Okay, this is what we already read. Alright. What about Valentina? Are you friends? Okay, so I guess this is gonna be the same stuff that we already saw. I guess that's about it. What can we examine? So we got, it's the entrance to a lecture hall. The door says that it's lecture hall 2F. This one is 2D. This one is 2B. So that's the one. This is the lecture hall where Bellwether's body was found. Alright. This is 2H. Alright, so we've done all of those. It's a door that leads into some kind of storage closet. There doesn't appear to be anything of note inside. Nothing on that side. Is there anything else to examine? I think that is it.
Repario Arcanum!
Now let's see what we got for magic. Anything? Nothing. Alright, well... I guess that's it. Maybe we go see if the barracks if Wallace is free from the barracks yet? Aha. It's over. My life is over. Wallace? Eep, who are you? What do you want? Wallace, it's Celeste and Tyrion from the library, remember? Oh, right. How are you doing? Apparently not well. Please tell me you're gonna get me out of here. I keep telling them that I didn't do it, and they still won't let me go. I'm sorry, Wallace, but they found traces of necromancy magic on the body. Now he's afraid. And because of that, they're going to push your case to trial. Well, what? Are they going to execute me? This can't be happening. I can feel these walls closing in. I can't breathe. Please, calm down. We know that you're innocent. With that said, would you let me represent you in court? Oh, right. You said you were a lawyer. but I don't really have any money to pay you with. Don't worry about that. For now, let's just focus on getting you acquitted. What? Do they seriously want to help me? So happy about that? No, they want something from me, but... Well, I guess it doesn't matter anyways. It's not like I have anything else to lose. That's not exactly the reaction you were expecting. But at least he's cooperating. Alright, so I definitely want to talk to him about his alibi. I don't understand. I was with you in the library the entire time. Well, why did they still think I'm the murderer? It makes no sense, unless... You told the Inquisition, right? Did you tell them that I'm innocent? Did they frame me? Well, we did, but as we said before, there are traces of necromancy on the body. And with the state of the body, they believe that she was murdered with the necromancy spell. Apparently, that makes you their prime suspect. I see. Alright, Wallace, we heard about the type of magic that you're studying. Don't worry. The headmaster explained it to us already. You just want to use necromancy to become a doctor, right? I understand that you have reservations about talking about your magic, but in order to build a case for you, I need your spell compendium. I don't have one. I know. Eris already told us about that. That's why she gave us a blank one for you to attune to. Do I have to? It's your life on the line, and we need all the information we can get to help you. Sorry. Alright, okay, so Wallace's spell compendium has been added to our notes. Prestidigitation has been added. Cast, okay, so this is evocation. Snap of the fingers is indefinite, requires concentration. The caster creates a simple and harmless visual effect around their hands. The effect will last as long as they maintain concentration on this spell. Alright, so Mend Wounds has been added. Its incantation is Menace. No gesture, duration 1 minute, no concentration. Heals the wounds of the target over the casting time. Wounds on the target are magically healed without leaving any scars or bruises. The spell can't restore missing limbs, nor can it revive someone who has already died. Okay? Illusory disguise. Uh-oh. That's not good. Places an illusion on the target to completely change their visual appearance. The disguise moves with the target for the duration. The disguise can make the target look 1 foot larger or smaller. Elements hidden by the spell are made invisible, and elements carried by the spell are purely visual. You cannot make physical contact with it. Revive. Floods the target with life energy in an attempt to resuscitate them. It does not heal wounds sustained. Results may vary, but it cannot resuscitate someone who has been dead for more than a minute. Animate Corpse. Reanimates the target using life energy, creating an undead minion for the duration. The minion follows the caster's orders, but its intelligence is limited and it cannot speak. The minion can end the spell prematurely, but will only do so if ordered by the caster. Once the spell is ended, the undead will return to being a dead body. Okay, Necrotic Blight. Pulls all the life energy from the target, resulting in instant death. This spell does not wound the target, nor does it leave any physical evidence, but still leaves a magical trace. Man, this is mighty suspicious. You understand the reason why he's studying this type of magic. But the spells in his compendium are still pretty gruesome. I agree, that's mighty suspicious. It's a little terrifying that spells like this even exist. Sorry, I know I was being difficult. A long time ago, I showed my compendium to someone I trusted. After she saw my necromancy spell, she told everyone in the academy. That's also when Professor Bellwether started coming after me. I'm sorry, that must have been hard for you. But at least you had Eris. Yeah, I did. Alright, let's talk about them. How did you and Eris become friends anyways? Why is she afraid about that? Another hint of fear from her. Are her fears related to Eris? Oh, it's a bit of a strange story. Sometimes the other students would steal the ID off my locker. Then they'd switch it with the one on another locker. They thought it was funny whenever the owner got angry with me. Eris had a bit of a reputation around our school. I'm not sure why, but everyone was scared of her, even the students from the nobility. It was probably due to some baseless rumors. One day, someone switched my nameplate with hers. I was so scared when she approached me I couldn't even say anything. But she didn't get angry like the others. She just apologized and gave me back my nameplate. After that, she randomly started talking to me whenever she saw me. We became friends after that. That's nice. It's a good thing he was able to find a friend in a place like that. Alright, what about all these necromancy spells, my guy? So I have to ask, if it's caused you so much trouble, why are you still studying necromancy? I want to use it to become a doctor. The headmaster told us the same thing, but you could have just stopped after learning the healing spells. Why are you learning the spells that can steal people's life force and raise undead? Life and death are two sides of the same coin. That's the key principle behind necromancy. The first undead was actually a failed attempt to resurrect a human using magic. Wow, I never knew that. Right now, basic necromancy can only heal injuries and wounds, but it can't do anything for diseases or deformities. If I could just keep studying, I know that I can create a new type of necromancy, one that can cure diseases and save lives. He specifically wants to cure diseases. Did something happen to him to motivate him that much? That was at the beginning of the episode. Something about his sister, I think? I think I can already guess the answer to this question, but how is your relationship with Catherine Bellwether? And it was exactly what you'd expect. He was angry and afraid. After word got out what I was studying, Professor Bellwether would always target me. She'd start yelling at me for the smallest mistakes. She'd do that to some of the other students too, and she'd focus on the ones that were poor like me. That's terrible. I'd wake up each day dreading the possibility that she'd notice me in the hallways. I knew how to avoid her and stay out of her way. And sometimes she'd just come looking for me. I can't believe that after everything she did, she's just gone. You must have mixed emotions about what happened. I honestly don't know how I feel about it. To be honest, I always wish she would just disappear. But now that it's finally happened, I just feel even more afraid. I feel like she's gonna come back from the grave to haunt me. Even with Bellwether gone, his trauma will still probably linger. I think I'm starting to put things together now. Have you figured something out? Yeah, I just need to take some time to think through everything. The prosecution wants to implicate Wallace despite his alibi. They wouldn't have a reason to do this unless the evidence heavily implicated him. How does the evidence implicate Wallace? We learned that Wallace is a necromancer, and he's the only person at the academy that's capable of high-level necromancy. So, let's see. How does it... Alright, what do we have? A rinse and smell, a witness, magical trace. It's a magical trace of necromancy was found on the body, right? On the body. There's a trace of necromancy on the body. This means they think Wallace used one of his necromancy spells. Even without seeing the traces, it's pretty obvious that magic was used on the body. Right, because there aren't any wounds on it. And the autopsy report found no signs of poison or disease. Which spell do they think Wallace used? If I know Prosecutor Stillman, she probably already has a theory on which spell he might have used. The prosecution will probably argue that Wallace used one of his spells to kill Bellwether. That would be, is it Necrotic Blight? Yeah. They will probably say that he used Necrotic Blight. That makes sense. Necrotic Blight would have drained the life force from her body. Bloodstain under the body has been updated. So there is a pool of blood where Catherine Bellwether's body was. This is strange because she wouldn't have been wounded by necrotic blight. But that's where the contradiction lies. Let's suppose that Wallace did kill Bellwether using necrotic blight. There's something at the crime scene that wouldn't be there if that were true. The blood wouldn't be there, right? So Bellwether's body was covered in blood. Necrotic blight is a spell that doesn't inflict any visible wounds. There shouldn't have been any blood on the body. But then what really happened? So I think maybe he did find her and he tried to heal her. Because he had a healing spell that cures, like it closes the wounds and stuff. I think maybe he healed her. That's the last piece. And if I had to guess, the information we need is being hidden by one of the witnesses who discovered the body. Valentina. She's definitely hiding something. Did you notice how she reacted when I asked you to scan the room? Yeah, she ran away. She didn't even try to be subtle about it. With the way she reacted, I think she may have been trying to hide herself from your detect magic, which can only mean there's a magical trace on her. I wonder what she's trying to hide. There's only one way to find out. The next time you see her, could you subtly cast detect magic and scan her? Alright. It's been a while since we talked to her. Valerie also mentioned that they still had work to do today. She might be back in the Academy's kitchen now. Alright. Is there any other information that we can get from you? Let's see. What do you think about Valentina? Do you know the twins who work in the Academy kitchen? Not personally. I only ever saw them when I went to get food in the cafeteria. But I could tell that they were both scared of me. They always did their best to avoid talking to me. Alright. Let's ask him about the classroom smell. Oh, he can't say anything about it? Alright. Let's see. Let's see. I doubt he has anything to say about the testimony, but let's just see if he says anything. Alright, no. I didn't think so. I've met a lot of mages in my time, but I've never met a necromancer before. Yeah, and you're not exactly what I was expecting. Sorry for disappointing you. That's not what I meant. Poor guy. Alright. Alright, he doesn't have anything to say about that. What about the arcane constructs? Nothing? Okay. Do you know Jan? Alright, doesn't really know the janitor. What do you think of the headmaster? You seem to have a good relationship with the headmaster. He said that you were one of his star students. Really? He said that? The only reason why I'm even allowed to attend the academy is because of him. Really? He's running a program through the local community center. Usually only nobles can afford to attend the Imperial Academy, but he's allowed mages born through the common folk to enroll there for free. He seems like a pretty good guy from what I can tell. Anything new about Eris? You seem to be good friends with Eris despite your reputation. Yeah, I have no idea why she spends time with me. Sorry, I wasn't trying to imply. No, I get it. But it looks like everyone here at the Academy is scared of her. Maybe she likes spending time with you because she understands your situation. Maybe. Okay, I think that may have been it. Well, do you know Arya Stillman? No, okay. And then I guess we'll do one last thing asking you about Catherine Bellwether. I still can't believe the professor is actually dead. Yeah, we just saw her this morning. But you don't actually feel that bad about it, do you? no, it's fine. We saw firsthand how she treated you. No one can blame you for feeling that way. Still doesn't feel real. Alright, I think, actually, is there anything to examine here? There's only one locked door that leads into the cell. The door seems to be locked by some kind of magical mechanism. Alright, lit torches. We've already seen this before. I guess the same thing. It says the same stuff every time. The cell has a barred window. Alright, so it's always the same thing. That's fine. Any magic here?
Imperio Arcanum.
No. Okay. So let's go ahead and go back to the kitchen and see if we can find Valentina. So those two are finally gone. I can finally get some cleaning done. Okay, there she is. Use detect magic to scan her from here. Right. Just don't shout the incantation like you always do. I know that. Alright, here goes. Imperio Arcanum. What the? What is it? There's a trace of magic on her. I knew it. But what school of magic is it? It's necromancy. There's a trace of necromancy on her. What? Oh boy, Valentina has a magical trace of necromancy on her. Someone cast a necromancy spell on her within the last 48 hours. What do we do now? You're still not sure how this fits in with everything. For now, let's talk to her and see if we can get more information out of her. If all else fails, we can confront her with the evidence we have. Oh, it's you two again. They're back? Okay, just relax. All I have to do is repeat what I told them last time. Unfortunately for her, that won't work this time. Miss Ionis, did you know there's a trace of necromancy on Bellwether's body? That's what he used to kill the professor, right? A necromancy spell? That's the thing. If that were true, a lot of the evidence we found doesn't make sense. I think someone else cast a spell on the body. Ooh, she's afraid. Is it possible that you saw someone use magic on Bellwether? No, definitely not. Calm down. There's no way they know. Her thoughts are an open book now. If you beat her in an argument, her thoughts might show you what she's hiding. Alright, so Valentina Ionis' psychological profile is complete. Did you see something? Valentina clearly knows more than she's letting on. She found the body alongside her sister and reacted strangely when you mentioned that someone may have used magic on the body. What is she hiding? Alright, we ready to start an argument? Alright. Miss Ionis, from the very beginning, I felt like you've been hiding something from us. There's something that you're not telling us about. Well, what are you talking about? My conscience is clear. I told you in the nights everything I know. I've got nothing to hide. Use this, okay, I need to stay calm. Use this against claims that contradict a piece of evidence. Use this against claims that contradicts thought seen through the eye. Emotion. Okay, so her emotion is fear. Miss Ionis, it's clear to anyone how nervous you are. I can practically see the fear you're emanating right now. Just tell us the truth. It'll be a lot easier for the both of us. Let's say I were hiding something. Which I'm not, by the way. I don't have to tell you anything. Why should I tell you anything? I know my rights. My client is innocent. By withholding your testimony, you're condemning him to a wrongful conviction. You have nothing to lose by telling us what happened. I know that you're not the murderer. I'll make sure you're protected. You've already given your statement to the Inquisition. If the truth comes out, what do they think they'll do when they realize you lied to them? I know you're not the murderer. Okay. Maybe I'm kind of like thinking one of those two. Let's try rationalize. You have nothing to lose by telling us what happened. I know that you're not the murderer, and I'll make sure that you're protected. Why would I ever trust you? I just met you today. She's right. She has very little reason to trust you. Well, let's threaten. You've already given your statement to the Inquisition. If the truth comes out, what do you think they'll do when they realize you lied to them? Who are you protecting, Miss Ionis? You talk a big game. But I bet you can't actually prove anything, can you? You think I'm lying to protect someone? I don't know anyone who can use magic. I don't even know any mages. And I definitely didn't see anyone use magic on the body. Alright, well, let's present the evidence. You can't hide the truth from us, Miss Ionis. What? You said you've never even seen a necromancy spell before. If that were true, then why is there a trace of necromancy on you? Wait, what? There's a trace of necromancy on me? Indeed there is. What? Did she not know about the spell that was cast on her? No, that doesn't make any sense. If she didn't know about the trace, she wouldn't have avoided Celeste back then. There must be an explanation for this. You've successfully argued against Valentina Ionis. Alright. So, necromancy on you. What's this about? This is crazy. Why is there a trace of necromancy on me? So I'm guessing that maybe she got a healing spell cast on her and didn't realize healing and necromancy were the same school of magic. Am I going to die? Am I going to become a zombie? That's strange. Is she really unaware that a spell was cast on her? Or is she playing dumb? Alright, so why doesn't Valentina know that the spell was necromancy? She knows that someone used magic on her, but she doesn't know that the spell was necromancy. Alright, so the spell cast on Valentina healed her. That's what I think. Calm down, Miss Ionis. Not all necromancy spells relate to the undead. Healing spells are also from the school of necromancy. Healing spells? Oh, it was from that time she healed that cut. She? That implies she knows a mage who studies healing magic. Could that person be a student here? Sorry, I just remembered that there's something else I have to do. I'll be right back. Is it her sister? Hey, come back here! Ugh, she ran away again. I can catch her. There's no way she can outrun me. No, the Inquisition is still stationed around the surrounding areas. They'd probably intervene if we started harassing one of the witnesses. That's true. But we weren't able to learn anything. Actually, I did learn one thing. She has a friend who cast a healing spell on her. Really? How did you figure that out? Good deductive reasoning. Wow. Well, healing magic is also a form of necromancy, right? I guess that explains the trace on her. It's a good thing we know Wallace. Otherwise, we might have also thought that a necromancer was trying to kill her. Wait a minute. That's it! What? Did you figure something out? This whole time, we've been wondering why there's a trace of necromancy on the body. It isn't because someone attacked Bellwether with a necromancy spell. It's because someone used necromancy to heal her, to try to heal her. Oh, I see. It doesn't matter what type of necromancy spell someone uses. Spells from the same school of magic leave the same type of trace. It's not just that. The body clearly has blood on it. What would happen if someone used a healing spell on a wounded body? It would close all the body's wounds. In other words, it would remove any cuts or bruises. Well, interrogating Valentina may have been a dead end, but it still gave us just what we needed to win this case. I'm not so sure that was a dead end. What do you mean? It's not that suspicious that she asked someone to heal her if she injured herself. But if it's only that, why would she go to so much trouble to hide it? It's too coincidental. The wounds on the body were healed by an unknown person. And the person who found the body is hiding the identity of the healer. They have to be the same person. I guess that makes sense. So, what do we do now? Valentina is definitely on to us. I doubt we'll get a third chance to speak with her. Hopefully, what we have now is enough to acquit Wallace. You've done everything you can. Use what you've learned to poke holes in the prosecution's case. And if that doesn't work, you can drag Valentina onto the witness stand and pull the truth out of her. You just hope that what she's hiding is enough to acquit Wallace. Oh boy, so is it time for the spoiled noble? I demand to know why you're still holding onto my rapier. It's a precious family heirloom and I want it back. It's evidence in the current case. Evidence? The professor was killed with necromancy. Was she, though? Why are you asking me? You're the one who's investigating this. I suppose it doesn't matter. Just know that I will bring her murderer to justice, no matter who it may be. Was that our killer? Alright, let's go ahead and save. Alright. Alright, it's time for the trial. Let's take deep breaths and relax. Hi, Tyrion. Ah, Celeste. Don't sneak up on me like that. Why are you so nervous? It's not as if this is your first time defending someone. I can't help it. There's something about this building that just fills me with anxiety. Ugh, it's too bad Ruby couldn't make it. I'd say that you should calm down for Wallace's sake, but there are so many people here, and they're all staring at me. Their eyes are prying into me like a pack of flesh-eating maggots. Gross. Don't worry, Wallace. Our investigation revealed a lot of weaknesses in the prosecution's case. We have a strong case for your acquittal. Okay. See? You can be confident when you want to be. It's strange. Something is calming about Wallace's anxiety. It's like he just absorbs the tension out of you and into himself. Interesting. Well, Miss Steelwind, here we are again. Court is now in session for the trial of Wallace Nightgrave. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is also ready. Very well, let's begin the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelwind, could you please list the charges? The defendant is a student at the Wyvern Guard Imperial Academy. Mr. Nightgrave is charged with first-degree murder, negligent misuse of the arcane arts, and illegal practice of advanced necromancy. Necromancy? Do you mean to tell me the defendant is a necromancer? I can't believe it! A necromancer? In this day and age? How could the kingdom let this happen? Your Honor, I would like to remind the court that they should view my client objectively. Of course, but one can easily see it from the list of charges. Necromancy plays a large role in the charges. Indeed, the crime occurred within the academy this morning. The victim is Catherine Bellwether, a professor at the school. Although there were no witnesses, traces of necromancy were detected on the body. Furthermore, the autopsy report showed that the body had no physical wounds. I see. Necromancy is the only type of magic that can harm an individual without physically wounding them. Additionally, the alchemist report shows no signs of poison or disease. Therefore, one can only conclude that a necromancer had committed the crime. As many of you know, necromancy is held under high scrutiny by the crown. Aside from the defendant, no other students were permitted to learn advanced necrotic magic. As such, the defendant was the only mage in that building capable of committing the murder. I see. That is certainly compelling evidence. To properly present our case, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orem White to the stand. Alright, time for our first witness statement. Commander White, please testify to the court about the Inquisition's findings. Yeah. It started when the City Watch got a call from the Imperial Academy. Someone was attacked and the whole building was put on lockdown. We set up a perimeter around the area and waited for the lockdown system to deactivate. When we finally got into the building, the prosecutor personally inspected the body and detected traces of necromancy on it. There were no cuts or bruises on the body either. The entire body was clean. With those two pieces of evidence, we concluded that it could only be the necromancer kid that did it. The Inquisition's testimony is just as you expected. You've already found and identified the holes in Steelwind's case. All you have to do is find that hole in the commander's testimony. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. Alright. It started when the City Watch got a call from the Imperial Academy. Someone was attacked, the whole building was put into lockdown. Let's press. What time did this call come in? A little after 3 p.m. It was a few minutes after the murder was discovered. Right, you remember that was around the time the lockdown occurred. Alright, we set up a perimeter around the area and waited for the lockdown system to deactivate. Right, the lockdown can't be ended manually, so they must have been forced to wait for the 1 hour duration to elapse. How secure was this perimeter? Is it possible that someone slipped past you? The Inquisition was working in conjunction with the City Watch and the Kingsguard. With that many people at the scene, it's very unlikely that anyone escaped unnoticed. True. For better or for worse, the kingdom will act quickly to protect a building filled with nobles. When we finally got into the building, the prosecutor personally inspected the body and detected traces of necromancy on it. That's still true. Why did the prosecutor inspect the body instead of the Inquisition? Well, how I conducted the investigation is irrelevant to the proceedings. Or would you like to insinuate that I'm not as competent as Commander White? You don't question her competency, but it's still a bit bizarre decision on her part. While the court admits that the prosecutor's actions are unorthodox, we see no reason to question the prosecutor's abilities. Thank you, Your Honor. Alright, there were no cuts or bruises on the body either. The body was entirely clean. It was not entirely clean. There was a pool of blood where Catherine Bellwether's body was.
Objection!
Commander White, it appears you've neglected to mention one key detail of the crime scene. Yeah, and what's that? During your testimony, you said that the entire body was clean. I will admit there weren't any wounds on the body. However, the body was certainly not clean. At the scene of the crime, there was a large pool of blood located where the body was. This blood came from the victim's body, and it was definitely not clean like the commander testified. I'm sorry, Mr. Cuthbert, but I failed to see the significance of this. I'd like to remind the court of the prosecution's case against my client. They are accusing him of murdering the victim using necrotic blight, a spell which would not have physically wounded the victim. So why was there any blood at all? Exactly. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The fact still stands. There were no wounds on the body, nor were there any reports of poison or disease on the autopsy. There are clearly magical elements in this case. But Catherine Bellwether was bleeding profusely at some point. How else would there be a blood stain on the body? Do you have an explanation for that, Miss Steelwind? No, I'll admit that the prosecution doesn't have an explanation for that. And while I do find the circumstances questionable, all the other evidence clearly points to the defendant. Alright, so which spell would leave a trace of necromancy? If the victim wasn't killed with necromancy, why was there a trace of it on the body? I'm glad you asked. I'd like to present a spell that could have left a trace of necromancy on the body. Alright, that's gonna be the mend wounds, right? Wounds on the target, yes. Mend wounds? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that a healing spell? That's correct, Your Honor. Spells from the School of Necromancy can control forces of death and life. Mend wounds is in fact a necromancy spell. Really now, I wasn't aware of this. Now, I'd like the court to consider the following. What would happen if Bellwether was wounded and someone attempted to heal her using mend wounds? All of her wounds would disappear from her body. I see.
Objection!
Do you honestly think I'm that incompetent, Mr. Cuthbert? Frankly, I'm a little insulted. What? The Inquisition is well aware of what happens when a mage attempts to save a victim using mend wounds. The healers that arrived at the scene already confirmed that the victim was long dead. None of them attempted to heal her. Well, what if someone tried to heal her and didn't report it? Please, none of the healers would have anything to gain by doing so. In fact, as a necromancer, the defendant could have easily carried out the described scenario. He could have cast mend wounds on the victim after murdering her to confound the investigation. At the end of the day, the burden of the proof is on you. But if you could just find out who healed the body, this case is yours. And whoever this healer is, Valentina definitely knows her. Your Honor, I will admit I don't have any evidence to support my theory. However, I do believe that we can bring it to light. There may have been two people that witnessed someone cast magic on the body. Valentina and Valerie Ionis, the sisters who discovered the body. Alright, the drama. This is nonsense. We've already questioned those two witnesses extensively. If they had witnessed something like that, it would come up in their testimony. If that's true, then you have nothing to lose by hearing their testimonies. Very well. If you're so confident, let's hear the witness's testimony. It seems the prosecution has no objections. However, if this line of questioning leads nowhere, I will see no reason to further prolong this trial. Do you understand, Mr. Cuthbert? Of course, Your Honor. Alright, so. Oh crap, it's that guy from before. Is he the necromancer's lawyer? She just got on the stand and she's already stressed out. This could work in your favor. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. My name? Witness, there's no need to be so nervous. We merely want to hear about what you saw on the day of the murder. Right? It's just that guy over there, You mean Mr. Cuthbert? Did this man harass you, witness? Wait a minute. Yeah. He, super harassed me. How shameful. I would expect a member of our justice system to behave more professionally. Oh, shut up. Anyways, please state your name and occupation for the court, Miss Ionis. Just calm down. He can't prove anything. My name is Valentina Ionis. I'm a member of the kitchen staff at the Wyvern Guard Imperial Academy. As I recall, you are one of the witnesses who discovered the body. Apparently, the defense finds your involvement suspect. Now she's afraid. Rest assured, Miss Ionis, in this courtroom you will be protected from Mr. Cuthbert's harassment. Ugh. Now please testify to the court what happened that day. Yeah. Alright, here we go. I was walking with my sister in the West Wing when we noticed something in a nearby classroom. We looked over to see what it was. That's when we saw Miss Bellwether bleeding on the ground. My sister tried her best to help her, but the professor had already lost a lot of blood. While my sister did that, I used an emergency communication device to call for help. See, it's the sister. But it was too late. By the time her bleeding stopped, she'd already lost too much blood. If your theory is true, that means she just lied in her testimony. She's definitely holding something back. She definitely saw more than she's letting on. You just need to prove that somehow. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. Uh-oh. Alright, so, obviously the sister did something. I was walking with my sister in the West Wing when we noticed something in a nearby classroom. Where were you two coming from? We came from the kitchen. We were taking a break after the lunch rush. The cafeteria is on the west side of the academy. It's believable that they'd be on that side of the building. What did you see in the classroom, Miss Ionis? We looked over to see what it was. That's when we saw Miss Bellwether bleeding on the ground. Did you notice anything else strange in the lecture hall? Well, there was that terrible smell. It was awful. I almost couldn't see because of how much I was tearing up. But other than that, I was mostly focused on the professor. Makes sense. It would be hard not to notice anything else. My sister tried her best to help her, but the professor had already lost a lot of blood. Alright, do we have anything about this? Let's see. Got supposedly, I'm not even sure if we have anything. They were being hyperactive during questioning. Died at 2:01. No signs of cuts or bruising. Is it gonna be this? Because there was no cuts or bruising, right?
Objection!
I mean, how was she bleeding? Your Honor, it's clear that the witness testimony is contradictory, and this piece of... Oh, okay. Okay, so that's wrong. Alright. Okay, so... She tried to help her? Miss Ionis, how exactly did your sister try to help Miss Bellwether? What? Oh, I slipped up. She's afraid. My sister used first aid to try to stop the bleeding. I see. Could you please add that detail to your testimony? Yeah, sure. She used first aid and applied pressure to her wound to stop the bleeding. Okay, so now there's no wound, right? Autopsy report. Yeah, there's no signs of cuts or bruising.
Objection!
Right? Witness, what is the meaning of this? What? Why are you looking at me like that? Maybe I can elaborate, Miss Ionis? You weren't present on the gallery earlier, were you? No, I was waiting in the lobby. Lady Steelwind told me to wait there. Well, I suppose I should consider myself lucky. You see, Miss Ionis, one key element of the case is that the body didn't have any wounds on it. Yeah? So? So please explain to the court, Miss Ionis, how did Valerie apply first aid when there shouldn't have been any wounds on the body? What? Oh no, I screwed up. But I saw that wound on her. What happened? There's clearly something amiss here. But I'm afraid I don't fully understand the implications of this. Are you accusing the witness of committing perjury, Mr. Cuthbert? When someone lies, they stay as close to the truth as possible while changing minute details. In her thoughts, Valentina said she was sure that she saw a wound on Bellwether. And she also mentioned that Valerie was the one who tried to save the professor. If she didn't try to save Bellwether with first aid, could she have used magic instead? Her sister could be the maid you're looking for. The witness was lying, Your Honor, but not about everything. Valerie Ionis did try to save the victim's life by addressing her wounds, but she didn't use first aid. She used magic. No, he found us out. Oh boy.
Objection!
I'm sorry, Mr. Cuthbert, but your theory is completely flawed. How so, Miss Steelwind? Well, it's quite simple. We've already verified that neither of the sisters are mages. What? Well, wait, how can you be so sure? During the investigation, we had both the Ionis sisters attuned to a spell compendium. It's standard procedure for the Inquisition when interviewing witnesses. Then that means... That's correct. Neither of the Ionis sisters could attune to a compendium. Haha, that's right, the Inquisition checked us both. She's still afraid? I think she did both. She pretended to be her sister. Neither of us are mages. Phew, that was close. Dang it! Were you wrong about Valerie being a mage then? No, that can't be right. No, he found us out. Her thoughts said he found us out. That means that you were on the right track. Valerie has to be the mage you're looking for. Celeste, is it possible for a mage to hold a spell compendium and avoid attuning to it? No, it just needs to be on their person. When I was arrested, the Inquisition also made me attune to one of their spell compendiums. They were really careful to make sure I did the attunement correctly. There's no way a mage could avoid attuning to a compendium with them watching you. Right? Commander White may be negligent sometimes, but even he isn't that careless. Now, if you're done, I do believe that you've exhausted all your options. Well, wait, I'm still not done cross-examining this witness. What could you possibly hope to glean from her testimony? Valentina should be stressed out enough to see more of her thoughts, but you can't exactly say that you're planning to read her mind. There's one key element of her testimony that the court is overlooking. I have a right as an attorney to complete my cross-examination. Your Honor, the defense is clearly trying to buy time. I might be compelled to agree with you. However, I'll also admit that some elements of the witness testimony are quite peculiar. I will allow the defense to perform one more cross-examination. That was close. But know that this is your last chance, Mr. Cuthbert. If you produce nothing substantial, I will pass my verdict. Of course, Your Honor. All right. It's all or nothing. If you can't find anything by reading her mind, the whole case is finished. Witness, please give your testimony once more. Okay. Dang it, how long does he plan to keep me up here? Alright, here we go. Like I said, my sister and I saw Miss Bellwether bleeding on the ground. We rushed over to her. I was definitely surprised when I saw her like that. Now that you mention it, I don't know if I saw any wounds on her, but I definitely saw blood. I can't go back on that now, I just need to play dumb. My sister tried to save her, but she didn't use any magic. Ugh, Valerie, you're too kind-hearted for your own good. Neither of us is a mage. Both of us held that book the knights gave us. I was caught off guard when they asked us. They almost found us out. The commander was watching over us the whole time. He can confirm it. It's a good thing we're twins, or else that trick wouldn't have worked exactly. What are we going to do? They have pretty hard proof that Valerie isn't a mage. Valerie is the mage we're looking for. I'm sure of it. I'm just not sure why they felt the need to lie to the Inquisition. And more importantly, how did they trick the Inquisition? Because they're twins. Alright. Like I said, my sister and I saw Bellwether bleeding on the ground. Alright. Interpret. Alright. That matches the details of her previous testimony. You have no reason to doubt this. Alright. What does this mean?
Objection!
Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to do it. The witness's testimony contradicts what she truly thinks. Whoops. I have an instinct for this sort of thing. Mr. Cuthbert, your instincts do not make for concrete evidence. I can't believe I have to explain this to you. Right. Well, you can't exactly say that you can see your thoughts. Yeah, so, alright. It sounds like you're just backtracking on your previous testimony. I'm not. I just assumed she was wounded because of all the blood. How was I supposed to know that someone closed her wounds? Her thoughts imply that she's lying, but her logic is sound. You'll need to look at her other statements that accompany them. My sister tried to save her, but she didn't use any magic. If Valerie wasn't the one who closed her wounds, how did she try to help her? I don't know. She might have been looking for an open wound to apply first aid to. But if we assume that you're telling the truth, there wouldn't be any wounds to find. My client would have already closed them to confound the investigation. I'm telling you, I don't know. It's hard to work with her pleading ignorance of what happened. Maybe you should try looking at the thoughts of her other statements. Neither of us is a mage. Both of us held the book the knights gave us. Alright. They almost found them out. Can I assume that the book was an unattuned spell compendium? Yes. The Inquisition has a myriad of them. It's a standard procedure to have witnesses attuned to them. But doesn't the kingdom require that mages register? Why don't you just cross-reference those records with the witnesses' names? For whatever reason, many mages among the common folk dislike the concept of registering. As a result, many of them choose to hide their powers illegally. She's afraid. Yep, her sister hid her powers. Yep, okay, so this is the one we can interpret.
Objection!
So let's see what happens. Miss Ionis, your thoughts betray you. Ooh, what? You found the thought. They must have done something. But what? It must have happened when Commander White was interrogating them. Orem was the one who collected their statements. Did he notice anything off about their behavior? From what he said, they had a few quirks, but nothing too suspicious. Quirks? He told me that they were running and spinning around him during questioning. What does that mean? Oh, they were trying to trick who they were? I have no idea. Perhaps they were still on edge after finding their coworker murdered. Exactly. Running and spinning. Her thoughts also said it's a good thing they were twins. How did the twins trick the Inquisition? This means their so-called trick wouldn't have worked if they weren't twins. Alright, so Valentina switched places with Valerie. Of course, they switched places. Valentina attuned to the first spell compendium. Then she pretended to be Valerie to attune to the second one. Commander White couldn't tell the difference between them. Miss Ionis, there's something I want to confirm. During the investigation, both you and Valerie attuned to a spell compendium. Am I correct? Yeah? The Night watched us do it. And how did he have you do this? Did you both attune to those compendiums at the same time? Or did you attune to one after another? What? No way. Does he know what we did? I fail to see how that makes any difference, Mr. Cuthbert. Yes, I agree. The spell compendiums would work regardless of what order they went in. You may not be aware of this, Your Honor, but Valentina and Valerie Ionis are identical twins, which means that their physical appearances are nearly identical to each other. If Commander White didn't have them attune at the same time, what would stop the twins from switching places with each other?
Objection!
This is clearly nothing but baseless conjecture. Orem wouldn't fail at such a basic task. Really, Prosecutor Stillman, do you find it hard to believe that Commander White would fail at a task like this? Well, wait a minute, this is crazy. We didn't trick the Inquisition. My sister and I are not mages. Then prove it, Miss Ionis. Bring in your sister and we'll have you attuned to 2 spell compendiums at the same time. No, wait. Boom. Bring down that gavel. Order in the court. It's clear we won't get anywhere unless we test the defense's theory. Bailiff, escort Valerie Ionis to the stand and bring 2 unattuned spell compendiums. Oh boy. They've both had their hands on those compendiums for the last 10 minutes. There's no way they can fake it in front of this many people. Alright, it's the moment of truth. You can only hope that your theory is correct. No. Did he seriously? What is it, Prosecutor Stillwind? What do you see? What I see is Commander White seeking new employment in the near future. It appears that the defense was correct. Valentina Ionis isn't a mage, but Valerie Ionis is. Oh boy. What's more, Valerie Ionis' compendium contains the Mend Wound spell, which makes the defense's theory entirely plausible. But please, just allow me to explain. We should allow you to explain what exactly? You're an unregistered mage, and you and your sister have made fools out of all of us with your perjury. How would you know what it's like, Lady Steelwind? What? Did you think we didn't notice your name? You're not like us. You don't have to hide. Whatever. This whole situation has gotten out of hand. I didn't think hiding it would cause so much trouble. And I won't let someone go to prison because of me, even if he is a necromancer. Please let me testify about what I saw. I'll tell you what really happened that day. Very well. But understand that there will be repercussions for your actions, witness. Yes, I know. All right, here we go. We finally get to hear the truth about what happened. My sister and I were walking in the hallway from the kitchen to the foyer. Then I suddenly spotted the professor lying in a pool of blood in a nearby classroom. Valentina used a communication device to call for help while I tried to save her. I saw that she was bleeding, so I cast Mend Wounds to close her wounds. But it was too late. I closed the hole in her stomach, but she was already dead. There was a hole in her stomach? Your Honor, as you can clearly see from the witness's testimony, the trace of necromancy was left by the witness, not my client. What's more, it's clear that there was a physical wound on the body. I see. Well, his words trail off. He clearly doesn't want to pass a verdict when there's no clear culprit. But he has no choice. The case against Wallace is predicated on Bellwether being killed by necromancy. With Valerie's testimony, the prosecution doesn't have a shred of evidence implicating him. Very well. The court sees no reason to prolong this trial. With these new developments, the court has no choice but to find Wallace Nightgrave not...
Objection!
Uh-oh. I believe the court is ignoring one key detail of the witness's testimony. And what would that be, Miss Stillwin? Let's re-examine the witness's testimony. Valentina used a communication device to call for help while I tried to save her. I saw that she was bleeding, so I cast Mend Wounds on her to close her wounds. But it was too late. I closed the hole in her stomach, but she was already dead. The communication device that Valentina Ionis used logs the time of day during each use. From this log, we know that Valentina used the device at 3:04 p.m. This was an hour after the time of death. Where are you going with this? Mr. Cuthbert, there was a witness who saw the victim before the body was found. He, along with another witness, spotted Bellwether walking in the hallways before the body was found. Yep, the janitor. I was cleaning the halls. Bellwether knocked over a vase. There were shards and dirt everywhere. It was probably 20 to 30 minutes before the twins found the body. 20 to 30 minutes before the body was found. Do you see the discrepancy, Mr. Cuthbert? Wait, that can't be right. Bellwether died more than an hour before the body was found. So how did Jan see her half an hour after her death? I wonder, Mr. Cuthbert, how could one make a dead body move and walk around? Illusion. No, you can't mean... There was more than one piece of evidence that pointed to a necromancer committing the crime. The defendant murdered the victim and used necromancy to animate her corpse. An undead created within the Imperial Academy? How reprehensible! That's ridiculous. She had a hole in her stomach when the twins found her. Jan Hughes would have noticed that. Animate corpse stops the flow of blood, so she wouldn't have tracked blood anywhere. The defendant is also proficient with illusion magic. He could have easily used an illusion spell to hide the undead Bellwether's wounds. But another party could have easily used illusion magic to disguise themselves as the victim, which is where I was going with it. If that were true, how did they move the body to the classroom? Miss Stillman, if your theory is true, it would mean that the murder occurred elsewhere. Would the Inquisition happen to know where? Regrettably, we do not. Then the prosecution's case against my client is still faulty. You can't convict my client without more evidence. I agree with Mr. Cuthbert. With these new developments, the court sees it fit to suspend the trial for the time being. We will give law enforcement time to investigate these unknowns. Court proceedings for this case will resume tomorrow morning. Court is adjourned. Boom. All right. So we're going to have to get some more evidence. Hey, are you feeling okay? The body is seen moving around an hour after death. It clearly wasn't Bellwether, or at the very least she wasn't alive when this happened. So what was it? Tyrion? There's illusion magic involved. There has to be. But which spell was it? Could it have been illusory disguise? Tyrion! What? You've been quiet since the trial ended. You are making me worried. S Sorry, I was just thinking about what Steelwind said. You mean about her theory? It's a little creepy when you think about it. Do you really think someone turned the professor into an undead? I don't think so. The prosecution's case is hinged on one clear fact, that Wallace was the only high-level necromancer nearby. We have to assume he's the only person capable of using that type of magic. But then how was she walking around? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It's a given that Wallace didn't touch the body, so we can discount the use of high-level necromancy. No matter, someone used an illusion. But aren't there spells that can create freestanding illusions, not just disguises? I honestly don't know. We need to talk to someone who knows about that type of magic. Wait, didn't Eris say she was studying illusion magic? She might be able to tell us if something like that is possible. Is that really a good idea? What do you mean? What if she's the one who created the illusion? What? You're detecting fear from her again. Celeste, are you scared of Eris? What? No. I saw it this morning too. You always get really scared when she's around. Oh, I thought I was doing a better job of hiding it. Sorry, it's not based on anything real, but for years I've been working as a mercenary. When you do that kind of work, you build up an instinct to sense danger. You kind of have to if you want to stay alive. Sorry, I never knew. Tyrion, I've fought literal monsters and barely escaped with my life. But when I'm near Eris, none of those creatures come even close. I get this feeling like I'm in front of a predator that I couldn't ever hope to beat. Every instinct I have tells me to run when she's close by. I cannot disagree. She enjoys using her magic to deceive people. So I really feel strongly that she's got to be the culprit. Or at least involved somehow. Really? She doesn't seem that dangerous. I know. I think maybe I'm just anxious or something. I should know better than anyone not to judge people by their appearance. Sorry, forget I said anything. If you think we should talk to her, then we should do that. You're not one to discount Celeste's instincts. She's always been reliable, and if Eris is making her scared, that must mean something. But if Eris really is that dangerous, then that's all the more reason to talk to her. But aside from that, there was also something else that the prosecutor said. Mr. Cuthbert, there was a witness who saw the victim before the body was found, Jan Hughes. He, along with another witness, spotted Bellwether walking in the hallways before the body was found. Who's the other witness? She said along with another witness. That means that there was another witness that saw Bellwether walking around. Right, Jan probably isn't the most reliable witness, so talking to that other person might help us figure out what happened. But do you think Stillman will tell us who that witness was? At this point, we won't lose anything by trying. In any case, it looks like you have your work cut out for you. So where should you start first? Yes, we are going to save our progress so that we definitely don't have to redo this again next time. And that is where we are going to stop today's episode. So next time when we play, we are going to try and talk to Arya Stillman and see who this witness is. Maybe we can get some more clues. And then we're gonna go talk to Eris. Like right now, she's my number one suspect. Like I'm really feeling strongly. But I don't know. I'm also sitting here like, is the headmaster too nice? Is he involved somehow? I don't know. Like there's a lot of I think it's more complicated than just Eris did it. She may have been involved, but I think maybe it's a lot more complicated than just Eris did it. So, anyways, we will investigate that next time and try and figure out who done it, hopefully, and finally acquit Wallace because he obviously did not do it. So, anyways, if you enjoy this content, then please like, subscribe, and follow. And if you want to watch live, we are here on Twitch at twitch.tv/leara27. I have my schedule posted in the About. And I post the games that I'm planning on playing on Twitter at twitter.com/Liara27. And anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye.